right, so let's get a whoosh going. How about? Whoosh, boom, breakthrough. All right. So, hey, I wanted to start off with this little showpiece here. Who could tell me what this is?
Ice cream scooper.
No,
Ice cream scooper.
It's $1 million idea.
It's $1 million idea. It's probably a multi-gajillion-dollar idea, right? I mean, think about the person that created this. And this simple little thing has created, happy kids, happy parents, right? I mean, who likes taking their spoon and it bends because the ice cream's too hard, right? So imagine this. Now, I met with a lady who I had taken a class with, and I created a friendship with her. And over the last few months, I've been encouraging her just through text. Be like, hey, hope everything's going well. Hope she's in the senior market, so I want to be close to her, right? Because that's a baby boomer market. She got her what's called a senior real estate certification. So she came. We met in Naperville today, and she kind of shared with me, one of the quirky things that she does is this. So when she meets a new family or new client, new opportunity, she invested her time, she invested her money, and she thought of something to do. And it says, and it's attached, but it's kind of worn off today. It says, want the scoop on what the market is really like? Give me a call and I'll be happy to tell you, right? And I'd be happy to help. But, it's funny because couldn't that work for us? Want the scoop on what the market's really like? Right? Yeah, write it down. Want the scoop on what the market is really like? Give me a call and I'd be happy to help you. All right? And I thought about it. This lady basically created a new opportunity for herself. 26 years in corporate America, she had been always wanting to help the senior market as she got older because she saw her parents go through basically the transition, right, of being vital parents to having a father that now on Saturday is going to battle his third time of chemo, third time of cancer. And he got lung cancer, and it was just by happenstance that they found it, this other time. And, it made me think because a lot of people, choose to be real estate agents and not financial, people in our business. Right? And I asked her, I said, what made you want to be a real estate agent truly, truly, truly? She said, I really want to serve the real estate market for the seniors. And that's a niche that she wants to create. So she spent her time for 2 years saving money, okay? And Grant Cardone talks about it, right? Grant talks about saving money. It's not the way to become rich, but saving money when you become ready to put that money to work could make you rich with educated decisions on how you put that money to work, right? So what the lady did was for 2 years saved money in her corporate job, knowing that around 26, 25 years she wanted to get rid of that corporate job, get her real estate license, get her certification for seniors, and boom, get into the market. All right? There's a lot of people out there. There's 44,000 real estate agents in Illinois.
Is that all?
44,000 real estate agents, residential. There's another 5,000 commercial real estate. Now, here's the funny thing is, why do you think there's a difference between residential and commercial? Who can give me a guess?
Commercial is, I think it's harder, but the rewards are bigger.
Okay. So, I didn't do the study, but I'm sure I could get the numbers pretty quick. Do you think there's more life insurance agents compared to securities agents? All day, every day, right? So our parallel universe of real estate, and Jesse's talked about it, right? We have an $80 trillion marketplace. They have a $25 trillion marketplace. Why is it that there's 44,000 of these thinking that real estate is going to be the way that they make it? Why don't we believe that about our business, right? I met with another real estate guy. He's a friend of mine too, Dean. He's pretty successful in RE/MAX has done well. He's going to make about $260 this year. He's going to sell about $25 million worth of real estate. Next year he wants to make $350. And you know what he told me? I'm looking to hire, if you know anybody, kind of an assistant, probably about $30,000, $35,000, maybe about $12 to $15 an hour. I said, well, why do you want to do that? He said, well, I think I could do 40, 50 million in real estate, but I need someone to help me because I'm doing $10 an hour work. Right? Because they're doing all the paperwork. So he hasn't duplicated himself. So one of my mentors asked me this weekend to shut my mouth more and listen more. All right? And what I did was I spoke to them in that manner. I was listening. We had lunch today. And I said, Dean, so what you're telling me is you want to duplicate yourself, right? You want to be able to leverage other people and their talents to help you become more successful. Is there anything wrong with that?
No.
No, right? I said, well, would you bring on new agents? Would you do that? Would they allow you? Because he's not a managing broker yet. He's an agent. He said, yeah. He's like, yeah, my contract's pretty big. I mean, I negotiated a pretty good contract. And I could actually bring in people. And a lot of real estate agents are doing that. They're becoming teams, right? They're creating this team atmosphere. Because a lot of the lower producing agents, they want to be around the atmosphere of the big producing agent. They want to know what the heck's that guy doing or that girl doing. So they create this team. But under that team, basically the team leader becomes kind of the general agent, even though they have a master agent. The reason I say that is because basically what came up was, well, Dean, do you think you're leaving any money on the table with other vertical lines, right? Grant Cardone talks about it. Vertical lines of what you do in your business that could be financial. He goes, well, what are you talking about? I go, well, how about the fact that every time someone purchases a home, especially if they're a family of 2 or 3 or one baby, and they're a 1 income earner or 2 income earner, and somebody dies, they might not be able to afford that home anymore. Well, are you talking about life insurance? Yeah. He goes, well, how do I make money at that? I go, exactly. Right? So we talked about it, and I invited him to next Tuesday. Right? He had some busy things today. So it becomes that natural, right, when you're listening more than you're talking about trying to figure out what to talk to people about. They're telling you, this guy's a successful real estate agent, making 200-something thousand, but he's trying to be like 400, 500, 800. You can't do that by yourself, by the way. Even in our business, I mean, it's very evident that you could write up a lot of business by yourself if you're out there just making it happen. But unless you build a team, you can't really build anything that's substantial to that effect. And by the way, when you get sick, you have no more income, right? Then you're just self-employed. But when you have a team, now you start to grow that atmosphere, right? So I wanted to share that just because I thought it was a cool story with the scoop as well. And then I wanted to share this because our fearless leader here, Jesse, has talked about being a lion, right? Jesse and O'Reilly being a lion, being a lion, being a lion, being a lion, cage lion, cage lion, cage lion, right? So I got this cool little thing here. Do I just put in this one, right?
A lion, the king of the jungle, nature's most ferocious killing machine, is fully capable of capturing, killing, and eating a field mouse. But it doesn't. A mouse can actually walk nonchalantly in front of a resting lion, and the lion will not disturb himself at all. Why? Well, it turns out that the energy required to do so exceeds the caloric content of the mouse itself. A lion that would spend its day hunting and eating field mice would slowly starve to death. A lion can't live on field mice. A lion needs antelope. Antelope is a big game animal. Even though antelope require more speed, more effort, more exertion, and more strength to capture and kill, once killed, they provide a feast for the lion and her pride. A lion can live a long and happy life on a diet of antelope. This is an important distinction for you too. You are a lion. Nature gave you incredible creative strength. You can use that strength to hunt mice or antelope. If you spend your strength hunting field mice, even though that they are easier to catch and kill, even though that they will give you a quick feeling of accomplishment, in the long run, you're gonna die. Or in this analogy about your success and potential, your success and potential is going to die. Every once in a while, I will read the obituaries. It's a fascinating exercise, particularly looking through it through this lens. If you have all these people who were born a lion, and when you read about their life, what they did or didn't do, the primary distinction is not where they are from, where they grew up, or what kind of pride or family they were from. It all came down to whether they spent their life hunting mice or antelope. That determined whether their family lived paycheck to paycheck or whether they lived abundantly. So much so that a surplus was left behind for generations of the family and for the community. You see, you are a lion. You have been designed by nature with incredible power, strength, and capability. You can utilize that strength to hunt mice or go after big game. The same capacity can be used for either. I recommend utilizing your great abilities to do as you were designed to do, to go after the kind of game that creates great abundance for you and your pride. So today, when you look at your to-do list, when you look at your list of appointments, are you hunting mice or antelope? In the same time, utilizing the same abilities, you can do either. I say, ignore the mice. Delegate or delete the mice from your schedule and attention. They are not worth your time or caloric output. Today and from now on, only use your great strength and capability to hunt big game. It's how you were designed to live. It's how you can provide the life your pride deserves. Get out there and go big today. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning.
All right. So who can tell me one thing they just got out of that? Rich, what'd you just get out of that? One thought.
He was talking about being a lion.
Vegetarian.
You're
Ted?
wasting your time by going after small fish, you know, just, it takes you the same amount of effort to go after somebody that has a lot of money that you can help him with, as it does to help somebody that has only a little bit of money.
Sure.
Which is, you know, sometimes we have to think about, well, you know, these big companies that won't even touch people that have only $5,000 or $10,000, and those are for us. But we really want to look for somebody that has like $100,000 at least.
Yeah, set some parameters, right? I mean, nobody said that we can't help them, but they have to figure out that in the Cardone thing that talks about, you know, we want to help people, but sometimes we help people that don't just broke, right? And then we waste our time with them. What we should be doing is helping them grow within, right? Come to this meeting. You're broke. I mean, Bill brought over a lady 2 weeks ago, right, named Carrie Prince. She has a double MBA, works for the government, and literally told me over the phone, I can't come this morning, we talked, because I'm working in depth, right? I can't come today because I don't have a ride. I said, well, do you use Uber? She's like, yeah, but I'm waiting for my paycheck to come. And I had to be bold enough to say, look, Carrie, I know you don't know me very well, and I love Bill, and I'm helping Bill create this business, but what you just told me, it hurts my feelings. The reason is I can't believe that you have your double MBA and work for the government and don't have the opportunity to come and learn something that I feel will change your life. So send me the top 3 goals that you have, and I'm going to help you because those goals are my goals now, Carrie. All right? Now, she's in that mice scenario, right? If she doesn't provide proof that she comes here after sending, and she actually sent me her goals, just so you know. So I asked her to send me her goals, and here's Carrie. says, my 3 financial goals is to be able not to have to use my savings, to be able to help my family where I won't have to go without, to not have to plan every dollar I get. That's a real person with a double MBA. And she's telling me that, right? Do you think I built at least a little bit of trust already with her? Do you think she thinks that I care about her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, we got to get bolder with this business. This lady is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to do little nooks and crannies and stuff in the real estate business. And by the way, I invited her to next week as well. Because I said, look, you need to come be with our group. Our group works in the baby boomer arena. I think it could work for you. And by the way, you won't leave money on the table. Well, she said, well, what do you mean by that? I go, well, leaving money on the table means that if you're working in the senior market, and I gave her an example of a wealth transfer that I did, I said that was able to affect that senior's life because basically we doubled or tripled the value of that worth of money to leave for his 3 sons. And she kind of opened her eyes and she's like, wow, that could really help a lot of seniors. Right? So then she became aware of something. So I wanted you to kind of hear that because I think a lot of times, when Jesse and Auralia talk about being a lion, right, we forget there's a reason behind that, right? There's a reason that God made us how we are, right, to be able to hunt and go after the things that we want to. But we've got to be able to have that strength behind us, right? So, can I have a volunteer to read this quote?
Money never found me when I complained
That means about.
about it.
All right, so, yep. Money never found me when I complained about it.
Is that a John Andrade?
No, that's a Grant Cardone.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know.
I case everything, copy and steal everything.
That's first.
Right?
That's what he does.
Case, copy, and steal.
Copy and steal everything.
I'm gonna
right?
case that.
Case that. So money never found me when I complained about it. How many people do you know that complain about money and their situations, and 2 years later, because they keep on complaining about it, are rich?
No.
No one. Not one soul. Right? Now, if they find a way to do the simple math of life, they create the possibilities, and then they strategize. So I'm going to go over, again, a Grant Cardoneism. And I'm using him because I wanted to team up with my buddy and give you an understanding of what it is, that the difference of the mindset of when you starting to think bigger, starting to think about what you want to do, right? Some of us, I know, most of us were in Las Vegas, all right? I was talking to the guys, and, I said, hey, I'm going to show you something today that I did 2 days ago and that I've done for the last 3 weeks, all right? See this? This is the last 3 weeks. Those are all the people that I've been able to get business cards for. And this was a seminar that I just went to, and it was actually a unity. It was the Indian American Chamber of blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. A gentleman that I met sent me a random email, and I had met him because my kids go to the same dance school as theirs. He said, "Hey John, I'd love for you to come out here. It's for the Wabansie Valley High School, okay?" And it was talking about unity and racism and all that stuff. I was like, okay. I didn't have anything to do that night. I could have easily gone home and watched the Cubs. But I'm so focused right now. Guess who I got to meet? I got to meet the Adrienne Coleman. She's a doctor, multicultural education specialist. Anna Ishmael, president of the We Make Aurora Happen, head of the union. All right. Janice Marie Anderson, county board member of DuPage. Don Ishmael, Kane County board member, District 3. Naperville Settlement, Donna Sack, vice president of community engagement and audience. Stephanie Kifowitz, state representative, 84th district. Linda Chapa, she told me to run for I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to run for any politics. But if you want, I can bring you into real business. Right? So, Gautam Grover, PhD, President of Flavors, Sensient Technologies Corp. Sherman Jenkins, Alderman at Large. Chawa, and this is a Sikh, so I love this guy. You know what? I was so excited to meet him. I'm like, dude, you're a Sikh, right? He's like, yeah. Sikh is the guys with the turban, Indian people.
The dagger.
I go, man, I was just in Vegas. I met 4,000 of you guys. And he looked at me, he's like, what? He goes, 4,000? He's like, I've never seen that many Sikhs anywhere. I go, yeah, man. I go, I listened to this guy named Raja Dhaliwal. He was amazing. Do you know that he was a cab driver 8 years ago? And now he's a multimillionaire. And he just kind of looked at me, he's like, what? So I said, hey, we need to talk. And he's like, well, what do you do? I go, well, here, give me your business card. I go, oh, you know what? I got to go to the bathroom. Hold on a second. And I just left. You know what he did? He got me at the end of because they had like that was at the beginning networking. At the end, he's like, hey, I'm serious, man. We need to talk. You know, how do you do things? You know, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, he's asking me this. I said, okay, yeah, I'll give you a call, man. Because I was talking to a bunch of people. I'm like, yeah, man, hey, Roger, you know, nice to meet you again, man. Yeah, definitely, I'll give you a call, man. I'd love to tell you what those guys are doing. Oh, okay, cool. Karen Sullivan, superintendent of the whole Indian Prairie District 204. Benny White, DBA, Lieutenant Colonel Army, retired. John Williams, regional vice president of merchant processing. And then Ron Davidson, commercial business banking guy. Right? Guys, we got to get out there and meet people, right? You've got to expose yourself. And when you talk to them, just ask for their business card, right? This has all gone into, I went to eat the other day. I was in the drive-thru at Meatheads in Naperville, okay? The lady kind of was smiling at me, right? So I was like, oh, I must be looking good today, all right. And she's like, oh, you want some ketchup and mustard for the burger I bought? I said, yeah. I said, do you have a little salt too? She's like, yeah, definitely. Let me get it. She's like, oh, here's your strawberry shake, because I got a strawberry shake, so it was kind of a bad day of my meal that day. I said, hey, are you the manager? She's like, no. She's like, I'm an assistant manager. I said, wow. She's like, your personality is really awesome. I go, let me tell you something. I'm a recruiter in the financial world. I don't know if you're ever interested, but I'm actually looking for people just like you. The way you just served me right now was incredible, and I really appreciate it because I'm more of the guy that gives compliments than complains about stuff. So who's your manager, and what's your name? Because I want to talk to them to tell them how awesome you were, and I may have something for you that we can work on. And she's like, really? She's like, yeah, my name is Mariela, right? I thought she was Indian because she kind of had like a interesting skin tone. And the way she looked, I thought she was Indian, so I was prejudging, right? And she's like, oh, I'm Honduran, right? So I'm like, oh, cool, da-da-da. I said, well, I'll give you a call, She's like, well, what do you do? I'm like, hey, I got to get going. Oh, you know what? Somebody's calling me on the phone. Disturb and intrigue, right? Right? What do we learn from our leaders? Disturb and intrigue, right? So I put her into campaign manager. I've got all these in campaign manager. I haven't done these, all right? But the seriousness of it is, if I keep on complaining about money, how much money am I going to get?
Nothing.
Zero, right? Let's read it all out loud.
Money never found me when I complained about it.
One more time.
Money never found me when I complained about it.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that we've got to get hot and passionate about this thing. We're calling our business, right? And I've had the privilege to do a couple of these trainings over the last month or two, right? And I came back from Vegas excited too, right? And I don't have any guests today, but I'm planting seeds. I was talking to Rich, right? And I was talking to Miguel, right? And we were talking, hey, planting the seeds is what you have to do. Because then, boom, the explosion comes through, right? Mm-hmm. You've got to start doing that every day. get those business cards, all that good stuff. Does that make sense? All right, so do the math to create possibility, then strategize. All right, I had posted something on LinkedIn. I don't know if you guys are part of my LinkedIn, but it was Grant Cardone. Let me see here. Some more. Trying to look at. Anyway, let's just say it was talking about how to become a millionaire, all right? And a lot of us forget that we may already be millionaires, okay? The one that blew me away was that if you get 5,000 people to give you $17 a month for 12 months, you're going to be a millionaire. All right?
For how long?
1,000 people?
5,000 people for 17 months. Or 5,000 people for $17 a month that they give you, all right, for 12 months, you're a millionaire. He said 300 people in all the world, the internet now, right? 300 people, it was like, I forgot the math, it was like $220 for 12 months. Right? There was 2,000 or something. All right. Let me ask: is the median income in here probably about in your jobs around 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, around there, right? 40 to 60,000, in just regular jobs, right? Did you know that if you made $50,000 the last how many years? 20 years, you're a millionaire, right? If you made 100,000 times 10, you're a millionaire. A lot of you guys in this office are millionaires, but you don't think that way, right? You're asking yourself, well, how can I make millions? Now, if you go back to the simplicity of it, it's breaking down the numbers, right? Write that down. So, how do you get to 3 personal wide?
How do you get to what?
3 personal wide. 3 personal recruits. Right? On average, you're probably going to have to talk to 20 people, right? Of, let's say 5 come to the BPM and 2 show up, or 2 get in. So if you do that twice, that's 40, right? If you have 30 days in a month, it's about 1 a day of just meeting people, right? There's probably there in those business cards, there's probably about 50 business cards, all right? What I'm expecting of those business cards is to have 2 recruits, 2 wide. So simplistic numbers is, if I get 20, I'm gonna go 2 wide, right? 10%. Break it down even further. Then, if you help these people do 40 contacts, and they go 2 wide, now what do you have? Then 2 wide, right? The point is, you start to do the math in reverse, and you start to understand and see that the group that you feel like is just you and your team right now can explode if you have small steps and you start to grow. The exponential happens, I just had one of my mentors tell me this, is at the 4th level. Those of you wanting to grow an actual team, you have to become best friends with your 4th level people. Right? And about 16 down, it's called the BFF. What's that?
Best friends forever.
Best friends forever, right? When you're 16 deep is kind of what this guy told me, that basically insured this leg forever. 16. We make it difficult, like it's going to be forever, right? But if you break it down, and start to coach your people, let your upline, in this case, our leadership team, work with you. And sometimes sideline, you just have to bring in the resources because we're a smaller group right now, right? Bring in the resources to help you. That's how you start to break it down. So how do you want to go 16 deep, right? If you take the multiples of these numbers and go 16 up times 20, but then you break it down by day, you start to create a momentum. It creates the bless you. Does that make sense?
Excuse me.
Does that help?
Yeah.
All right. So, money on hand equals opportunity. How many of you have been able to save in your life, but when the opportunity comes, that you feel like we're in the money business, right? The stock market goes down in 2008. By the end of 2009, or around middle of 2009, it was about 40-something% down. Okay? You've seen the stat already that I know Kim has showed you, right, through the WealthWave website and what we have on Titans of Industry. All right? If you were able to have a wad of cash that you built through this business, and you keep on working, but every single dollar, or 90% or 70%, pick a number, of the money that you make here goes into this wad of cash, into a bank account that you try to, like I know at Fifth Third we had this thing called Goal Setter that you couldn't actually take it out online or on the mobile app. You had to literally go to the branch. So it made you think about wanting to take out that money. It was called a Goal Setter. All right? If you grow that money in there, and you had $100,000, and you could have seen, like, even at 30% down, or hell, 20% down, would that have been an opportunity to invest in? Right? When it goes down negative that much? Knowing very well that throughout the history of life, the stock market's always bounced back, right? The reason being is when you have that 100K, and you're ready for that opportunity, you take advantage at that moment, and guess what? The rebound has been 256%. So this 100K, you took advantage of it because you were wise. You saved money not to become a millionaire for saving money, which is what he talked about. Saving money doesn't make you millions. Saving money allows you to take opportunities. All right? Educated opportunities. Use this vehicle to make money and have educated opportunities. You know what's an educated opportunity? When you're big enough, you have 100K and you go build or get an office. Because now you're independent and you have the opportunity to do it. If you're kind of just living off of that income that you're coming in, it may not be the right time for you. Does that make sense? So these are the opportunities that he was talking about. And a lot of times, I listen to these guys and gals, and you start thinking like, well, could that be me? Could I do that? How will that work for me? Right? You've got to believe in the seed planting side to be able to get the harvest side. Right, Ted? Any questions? All right, we're going to do an exercise because I feel the energy going down just a little bit. So we're going to do, Anthony Robbins gets up on stage and he starts to pump his chest. All right, ladies, you can get up here, right? Pump your chest.
We're doing it now.
And then he starts clapping. Yes, yes, yes. Say yes, 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 yes. And since we're coming at feet, it's yes. Whoa! Whoosh! Boom! Breakthrough! All right, a few more minutes here. So giant investments. You know that no casino has really gone broke in Vegas? Do you understand the reason why? Give me a couple guesses of why a casino in Vegas has never really ever gone broke.
I know the answer. I'm just.
They set it up so that they win like 60% of the time and the customers win like 40% of the time.
Okay, so let's do the math. So 60% of the time they win. All right? And we win 40% of the time. It's a very good way to start thinking, okay? They have it set up that way. And they make millions and millions and millions of dollars off of people gambling. But there's a layer that if you listen to Grant Cardone, you'll know about. And I'll give you it today. All right? So, what do you think is maybe a reason why people can't bankrupt the casino? What are some thoughts? Just some thoughts. Open 24 hours, okay. All right. A lot of drunk people between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m., right, that are just giving their money away. Anybody else?
And if you're not drunk already, they give you free drinks.
They give you free drinks, right? Then they pump oxygen into the casino so that you stay awake. You're like, this is awesome. I've never been in. No wonder I got up at 5 in the morning, like went to work out and thought I was cool, right? Because it was pumping me with oxygen. You know, the last few days, admittedly, I haven't gotten up that to go work out as much, right? I got up around 6:30 today, but I didn't make it at 5:15 like I wanted to. All right. One of the biggest reasons why people don't make it in life is the example I just gave you before. One of the biggest reasons why people don't bankrupt the Vegas, the casino, is because they don't take enough of a big risk. Meaning, have you ever heard a friend? How many people have gone to Vegas? So almost everybody's gone to Vegas, right? Anybody has ever gone to a casino locally here? Okay. Do you ever? And you could admit it to yourself or have to say that a friend said it. How many friends of yours have said when you've gone to the casino locally, said, "Man, I've got this $100. If I make it, great. If I don't lose too much."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. 90% of people go that way.
I've got $100. If I make money, great. But if I don't want to lose too much. That's the problem with the mindset of middle America. Right? They have a conscience of like, oh my gosh, I got this $100 and I want to gamble it, but I don't want to lose too much. All right? And I'm not saying to go gamble everything, right? So don't blame me, Jesse, around that everybody went to go gamble. My point is, he said it. He said, you know that there's a lot of people that won't take that chance in their life of a business idea, of something that's going to make them financially free, because they're just willing to guard themselves and go, I don't want to bet too much. This is all I can lose, right? Because they haven't prepared financially. Aren't we supposed to be teaching people financial strategies the right way? You know, we tell them to save, right? And we have great vehicles to save money. But how do you put in all your chips in the table with this business? How do you do that?
You offer the opportunity. Oh, what do you mean?
You offer the opportunity.
Right, so they can increase their income.
You never quit, right? You never, ever, ever, ever quit, right? I remember 17 years ago I was in this business, right? I quit. I was cool. I started my own thing and did a bunch of things and got into banking, right? And I remember Joe and Levitan and Jesse and Auralia, right? They never quit. Their incomes were a lot higher than mine, coming back, right? Now I've just made a decision, no matter what, I'm not quitting. And that's what you guys have done. A lot of you have been here for a while. But along with that, you've got to start taking risks. And when I'm talking about risk, that lady, Mariela, who knows? Maybe she never comes down. But what if she's my Jeff Levitan? Right? Jesus worked out the same way. I know the story that they tell me, right? They went to McDonald's, noticed that Jesus was unbelievable with his employees, and said, Jesus, hey, that's not exactly what he said, but, would you like an opportunity? Or is McDonald's your dream? Right? So,
You're loving it.
right? You're loving it, right?
You're loving
Guys, the investment I'm telling you that I hope that you're trying to translate in your brain right now is not that you take a wad of cash. You know, you have great credit right now, all those checks that all the credit cards send you, right? I love those checks. It's hilarious. They send you a ton of checks so that you can get yourself in debt. Not because they like you. It's not even because you have great credit. You got the opportunity because you have great credit to get those checks. But they want to get you in debt so that they can live off of the life that they want to live, right, as a
5,000
company.
people, 17 a month.
Exactly. 5,000 people paying them $17 a month makes $1 million a year. You guys had to put your investment that I'm telling you, right, and that your leaders tell you, into talking to people. Right? So that we have incredible Mozone. So that this place is packed. Right? I've committed, like, I want to take over this room, and if you guys have to sit in the back, it's up to you, man. I want my team to be this whole freaking room. Right? And I want to be able to tell the owners, maybe Jesse and Arala, right? They have the lease, right? Let's knock out this wall because our group is growing too big, right? Or we might have to sublet upstairs and go move to a bigger office, right? But you've got to think that way, that's your investment. You've got to be all in to be able to give it what you've got. And then I'm sure before you even make that commitment that your leadership is there already wanting to help you. And when you get people in, you've got to be able to translate that to them. That you have people that care about you and are willing to help you, and that you're willing to help them. But it was so cool today. I mean, I literally called this lady. She told me that she's not in the group yet. She came down, and then I basically was bold enough to say, hey, Carrie, when are we going to stop living that way? Send me 3 top goals. I want those goals to be my goals now. And I could feel it over the phone that she was like, man, this guy cares, right? Bill's in California right now because he's closing a deal for his regular job. He's not going to be here for a week or two, or a week and a half or so. Do I care that Bill's out in California? I care for him individually. But you know what my responsibility is? He brought in Carrie, and now Carrie has this dream that possibly this business could be something. I have to step up and go and Carrie. And I let Bill know, hey, I talked to Carrie. She's excited. Here's her top 3 goals. Put it in some notebook because I want you to know them. I want me to know them. And boom, we're going to work our asses off to go help this person get those goals. And even if it's a mouse right now, I'm going to find an antelope.
Inside the
Right? Either she becomes the antelope or she leads me to the antelopes. Does that make sense? Right? You've got to be smart in this business too. So, all right, last thing. Surplus of cash. When you know this is great, go all in. Right? I mean, we've done these trainings before, right? Most of us went to Vegas. It's okay to not see the harvest right now if you're doing the activity of seed planting. You know, Jesse told me earlier, he's like, hey, these are the next 3 months are the best months of this business. Probably because for 3 months, Jesse's been working his clients and say, hey, let's get back to each other. No, that's busy. Get back to each other. No, campaign manager, get back to each other. And all of a sudden, he gets 3 or 4 calls. We all wonder why they go on vacation every few months. Right? What gets you in the lights and people to recognize you is probably what you did outside of the lights. Does that make sense? All right. So I didn't really go through this, but you know that farmers when they plant seeds for corn, there's a saying, and I learned this working in DeKalb. They say knee high by July. All right. If the corn stalk is literally knee-high by July, they know it's gonna be a great harvest. And it's not even bloomed yet, it's just knee-high by July. All right? You've gotta be able to say, some of you came back from Vegas and said, hey, you know, MDs, SMD, I wanna be an EMD, CEO. What's your knee-high by July? Write it down, what's your knee-high by July? If you get that knee-high by July, you know that you're on the progress side.
I think a good thing to do there too. I'm just thinking for me. I
Yeah.
don't want to share it because I think it could be good, but like week to week, by Sunday night, what's knee high? How many appointments need to be scheduled? How many invites do you have to have done? Or how many campaign manager emails? Just like a weekly thing. Knee high by whatever.
Yeah.
Knee high by Sunday means you did what you should to plant seeds for the next
And
week.
Tuesday we'll harvest, right?
Something like that.
So, thank you again as always. I know that obviously I appreciate the time to share kind of my thoughts. I know there's a lot of leaders in this office that, you know, have shared their thoughts and will share their thoughts, right? But we all got to step up, you know. We all got to have the activity to plant the seeds, to let it harvest knee high by July.